There they all are, warming up their tyres, swerving all over the circuit as they warm them up. I can remember somebody being rather alarmed at this sort of race tactic, not realising that it was the warm-up lap, and worrying about these cars swerving all over the place. But of course it was the warm-up lap. A full grid of cars. Further back we see more BMWs and Sierras. Of course, Rob Gravett in the Ford Sierra 500, the same one in which he won this the British Touring Car Championship this year. And there are also champions from Portugal and from Sweden as well. But the man who's starting on the pole position is Masahiro Hasemi in this remarkable Nissan Skyline GTR as they come up to take up their grid positions. There are 31 cars, lots of Hondas and Toyotas further back, but also some BMW M3s and Ford Sierras as well. A full grid then for this Guia touring car race. Some 1 hour and 50 minutes of racing, and there we are already. Hasemi and Gravett are stationary on the grid. Ahead of them, this Mandarin Oriental Bend, otherwise known as Yacht Club Bend as well. There's the grid coming up. Emanuele Pirro on row 2 with Yokoshima. On row 3, Toshiya and Winkelhock. The red light is on and staying on for some while. Clutch is beginning to be cooked. And we're waiting for the green. There's the green flag at the back that tells them that everyone's stationary. On goes the green, and now Gravett trying hard to get on terms with Hasemi, but that four-wheel drive absolutely propelling that Nissan into a fantastic lead. Riding now with Gravett, Hasemi occupying a middle-of-the-road position there. Gravett looking down the inside, but there's nothing doing, and so he'll stay in second place behind Hasemi, and then a big gap now to Emanuele Pirro in third place, and then Yokoshima in that Ford Sierra in fourth place. They're all getting through there okay. Julian, what was it like?
Well, you can see the gap that they've opened up already, the turbo cars on the start. Really, Rob's only chance was to get down the inside, I think, at the first corner, because this car in front of him is something else. It really is special. And you can see that its traction, it's pulling away all the time. Tremendous horsepower, around 600, I believe, in the race. And us in the BMWs were struggling slightly because the Sierras have an awful lot more power. But we were rather hoping that later in the race we can catch them up.
Well, we reckon the Sierra has got around 560 bhp as opposed to the Nissan with over 600. The Nissan, of course, has got its four-wheel steering as well as four-wheel drive, and so it's a very tractable, very, very powerful combination of car. And Rob Gravett trying hard to get on terms. In fact, where is the Nissan? There it is, coming up Moorish Hill. Behind Rob Gravett, we've got Emanuele Pirro. Behind Pirro, we have Hisashi Yokoshima, I should say. Getting my Japanese mixed up. But look at that, already that Nissan disappearing into the distance. He is through the hairpin and then accelerating away as Rob Gravett sees Emanuele Pirro looming in his mirrors. But this is the section, surely, where Gravett can also stretch his legs a bit on this shoreline section.
Well, he'll be able to do that from the BMW because, of course, it's operating with about 200 horsepower more. The BMW is going to be very quick in the slow bits, but you can see that he's still managing to stay with Gravett. That BMW is pretty quick through the corners, and of course Pirro's an excellent driver, has been around here an awful lot. But that Nissan has already disappeared. An incredible gap on the first lap. You see Pirro using all the road there as he comes out of Arbent.
And here comes the Nissan to complete its first lap. And we reckon it's very nearly 6 seconds ahead of Gravett in second place. There's Pirro in third, then Yokoshima fourth, Stefan Johansson in fifth place, going through there, number 2, and then Ni Amorim there, number 7, I should say, the Portuguese champion, and behind him Keiichi Tsuchiya, another Japanese driver in another Sierra. So lots of Sierras going through. Number 99 is Krista Johansson, and Julian, is that you taking a place there?
That's me overtaking this year. I didn't realise how tired it was, actually. But I didn't manage to stay in front of him for long because just held him off through the slow corners, and then he got past me once again on the straight. There really was a big difference in speeds between the M3 and the Sierra on the straight.
And really that's where the two different characters of this circuit tell, don't they? Because you've got this twisty bit along the hillside and then the very fast, wide open shoreline section where the Sierras can get their own back.
That's right. In fact, when I was asked to do this race by Watsons, I did try very hard to get the Nissan, but there was only one available, and of course Hasami, being the Works Nissan driver in Japan, was given that opportunity. It's a shame because I felt that well, I obviously felt right that it was the car to have, because the way it's blasting away just proves me right.
Well, look at that, in the pits there, number 28, one of the local drivers. Local at least in terms of he comes from the Orient rather than Europe. And there is Hashemi, 45 years old, and really pulling away already. Castrol sponsorship all over the car there. And it almost looks like a rally car, doesn't it? Because it's quite high at the back end.
It does. It seems that they run an awful lot of ride height. Of course, it's four-wheel steer as well, which makes it get around that hairpin. I mean, it makes it look really easy coming around there. The traction and the four-wheel steer make it a fantastic car.
Rushing down now to Fisherman's Bend, and followed there by the Sierra and Emanuele Pirro, Gravett and Pirro. There's Emanuele Pirro, the Italian driver, 28 years old, from Rome, also living in Monaco these days, as so many of the Grand Prix drivers do, and a former competitor in the Macau Grand Prix itself, now racing in Formula One Grand Prix, of course, and with some 20-odd Grand Prix to his name. Hashemi goes through. There's Gravett. Following Gravett is Pirro, then Yokoshima. He raced here last year in that Sierra, built by Andy Rouse, that car. Then behind him, the Trackstar Sierra of Stefan Johansson, then Nii Amorim. And Johansson, in fact, having only his second ever touring car race as well. In fact, he's here principally to do a TV commercial for Yokohama, so he's more starring than anything else. Behind Nii Amorim there, going through, is Krista Simonsson, also from Sweden. He qualified very close indeed to his compatriot Stefan Johansson, and no doubt he's going to have his practice sheet framed and stuck up on his wall to prove just how close he was to the last Grand Prix star from Sweden.
I spoke to Stefan before the race, and he really wasn't looking forward to it. He doesn't enjoy driving touring cars at all. I actually found it quite interesting. I enjoyed it, but obviously in the Sierra it's a different kettle of fish to the BMW. He just didn't like it at all.
Stefan's Grand Prix career temporarily on hold. We hope temporarily anyway. He's done 78 Grand Prix, scored 88 World Championship points, and after he lost his Onyx drive this year, he didn't have a great deal of racing, so he was happy to do this TV commercial, if only to get back into a racing car again. And as you say, he'll be looking to continue either in Group C or preferably, of course, in single-seaters later on in 1991. So Hashemi literally stretching his legs, just pulling away. The gap has gone up from 5.7 seconds to 7.5 seconds, and now up to over 8 seconds from first to second. And as we heard from Gravett, he's hoping that they run into some fuel consumption problems. But join us after the break for the continuation of the Guia Saloon Car Race from Macau.